Wonderful. It is July. Dr. Michael Goldberg here with me, Practice Perfect Systems, Eric Vickery, President of Coaching All-Star Dental Academy. This is our fireside chat time, and we decided to take the month of June off, I think. So we both were traveling and busy, and so here we are in July, and this topic today is called Lessons from Wal Mart. So I love it. Get us started. I don't even know if many people know that Walmart had dental offices in their Walmarts. I mean, do you think people are, how aware do you think people are of that?
I don't know. That's a great
Yeah.
question.
I just was talking with a client. He had no idea there were dental offices in a Walmart. So I was shocked to hear that, but it doesn't surprise me. After I think about it, I go, yeah, it's not really on people's radar, I don't think. So give us some background on that, your perspective on it, and even a little story, because they may not know what we're even referring to with it.
So Walmart got into the healthcare business. Oh, probably, I don't know, 8 years ago,
I
nine
was
years
thinking
ago,
10, yeah, I
maybe.
was thinking about 10 years ago, but I don't
Um,
know exactly when it started, but it makes sense. Pharmacies, dental
well,
office, optometry practice, and now here's a dental office.
so again, it was a part of an overreaching strategy of how to compete with Amazon,
Hmm.
right? How
Okay.
do you compete with Amazon? Well, they have an online presence, but back then they didn't.
Yeah.
The idea is you need boots on the ground. You need people coming into your store.
Yeah. How do
I
we get them in
mean,
here?
pharmacies make more money on the sundry items than they do on the drugs,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why at every checkout you see a whole line of stuff for sale.
Over the counter
Those things,
stuff.
those
Yeah.
things make a lot of money for the company. So, healthcare is one of those things that you really can't do remotely. So, well, not yet, and not well. But so they said, all right, let's get people in. And I might have told you I happen to have treated, I won't say which one, but I treated one of the Waltons. Um, and I asked, what's what's going on? What
Hmm.
why?
Hmm.
She said, now I just said who it was. Oops. Anyway,
They
she
said,
they said, yeah, it's okay. Um, it's the right thing to do. We have we have Walmarts. I mean, Sam Walton was a brilliant guy.
hmm.
I mean, there's a Walmart within 10 miles of something like 90 something percent of the United States population.
Hmm.
That they must have figured it out,
Hmm.
right? It's not that far to get to a Walmart. Well, I mean, we know that one of the big issues in healthcare is accessibility.
Hmm.
Okay, we can solve the problem. If we can figure to make out how to make healthcare work in a Walmart, boom. Um, and then they added, just like so many other things, oh, you know what? Let's add a dental sidecar to
Hmm.
the healthcare system. So
Yeah.
I think they picked out 20 some odd, I think. Um, anyway,
I just have so many images in my mind. Like, we're not making money on the dentistry, so we've got some, candy here over the counter to sell you while you're checking out the dental office, because you're at a Walmart, with a McDonald's in it, and then a pharmacy right next to that. It always just It's just such a conflict. It's trying to be all things to all people.
and that's the point.
Yeah,
That's one of the lessons.
yeah,
One of the lessons was, are people going to go to Walmart for their health or dentistry?
yeah.
I mean,
Ugh.
if I'm in aisle 5 and I have chest pain, it's a good thing. But if I'm at home, I'm not going to Walmart.
Well, think about this. You just told me about someone who is in that family. They didn't go to Walmart to get their dentistry done. They came to see you.
Well, that's a different story.
For another time, another fireside chat.
Yeah, yeah. But the point is that I don't think, and I don't know. I mean, the fact is that they threw their hands up and are closing all the health and dental practices.
So let me make sure I understand. So I've heard the number 51. Do we know how many dental offices were across the country in Walmarts?
I heard
Yeah.
the number 51, but I don't know if those were pure dental offices or dental and medical.
Okay. So they had, and then they're not closing the optometry or pharmacy side of things that they have in there. That's separate. But the dental medical side of it, they're just closing all of that. Wow.
Yeah.
So their model didn't work for some reason.
So yeah, and it's not unique. I mean, um, who was it? It was a consortium, I think, of Berkshire Hathaway, Apple. There were a whole group of people that got together to try and do healthcare.
Mm.
Amazon. Amazon has since bought One Medical, and which is a more of a virtual company. They're trying
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Virtual and then prescription.
Yeah. But let's go back to what you very wisely identified, I think, as the real problem.
Mm-hmm.
Who are their patients? What was their
Mm-hmm.
market?
Mm-hmm.
You know, is their market attention Walmart shoppers? And if so, what's the product that's
Yeah.
going to resonate with those with that market? So, I think we may have done something about, the market message media triangle, right? I, that's something that is not well understood, but I think it's a truism. Um, you first identify your market, you then craft a message that resounds with the market that you want to attract, and then you figure out how to do that, how to get that message to that market. So that's some kind of media.
Mm-hmm.
So what they said
So
is
who
no,
is
no,
the
no.
market? I want to make sure I understand. So who is the market? What's the message to them?
Right,
Right. And then how do you message them?
right. How do you reach them?
Mm-hmm.
So they did it backwards. They said, we have the media. The media are our Walmart stores.
Mm-hmm. That's how we'll reach them.
That's how we're going to reach them. Who's them? And is the product going to resonate with that market? They did it backwards.
Mm-hmm.
They looked at the media first, then the a product,
Mm-hmm.
and then the market. And the
Yeah.
market basically said, I don't want this. Or they couldn't figure out,
How to get to it.
or not how to get to it, how to make it profitable. So
Oh, Walmart on their end. I was thinking from the consumer.
right.
Yeah.
So Walmart
Yeah.
said they couldn't figure out a profitable business model.
That's what I took it to be. I just took it at face value is they're discounting the service so much they couldn't make it profitable. That and I just didn't think any deeper than that.
But so that you're right. It that is a significant component to it.
Yeah.
But it's because they're looking at Walmart
The
shoppers
the reason behind it is
who are
because
price
why? Yep.
shoppers.
Yeah, they're looking for cheap.
Right. They're price shoppers. And and we've talked about this. When you've trained your patients via insurance to be price shoppers, and you then want to stop that because you realize there's no profit in it, like Walmart did, how do you pivot with the market that is that
Inflation,
are
the inflation part of it. Yeah.
so if you're marketing for price shoppers, you're going to get a certain type of patient. You're going to change that kind of patient's mindset.
So
That's really hard.
so all right, so let's relate this to what we're dealing with in a solo practitioner's life. I'm slow. I'm thinking about signing up for more insurance plans. So I think there's a correlation there.
Oh, there is. And I'm laughing because I have a client who were just going through that
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah,
You
me
know,
too. I have a client that's like, and I don't think he's serious about it because he's so passionate about being an out-of-network provider and providing quality. He's like, I'm so slow. What do I need? Right. And and just to correlate, the message that I talked to him about today was that I don't think we're conveying what being out of network means to the patient appropriately so that they want to and understand how to work with you with their insurance anyway. In other words, why are people saying to you, to your office only, oh, I need to go to an in-network provider, when that is not what we get by and large with our trained offices? We don't get that objection. We get different objections like lack of urgency. So there's something missing in his message, like you're talking about, that isn't communicating, this is the place for you, and we're going to take great care of you. Does that make sense?
oh yeah, no, it's so the marketing message
Mm-hmm.
can be tweaked. Maybe he's marketing to the wrong market,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe his marketing attracted the wrong kind of patients.
Yeah, I think we've whittled into that. He's got a great marketing team. He's got great referrals coming, like you even talk about. It's just something in the message to case because we're getting them in, and the case acceptance is then creating a confusion somehow because they knew this coming into it. So I don't want to get into the weeds here too much, but the point being is, can't for someone in that position, I believe training would work to convey the message correctly. I think that would, he's got enough volume that but I think alignment with the clientele, like you're talking about, I think makes sense for him right now, but you do have to make sure that works. And I think you also got to push back on the, hey, if I tried to be really cheap right now, would that help me in the long run? And both of
So
us would say no.
no, because and we see that playing out in the market now.
Yeah.
I mean, we were lulled over the past almost decade with flat inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Now that inflation has reared up a little bit, you know, you could get by if your profitability went down 1% a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a big deal. But when your profitability goes down 7, 8, 9, 10%, that's a big deal. And that's what, you know, I think doctors have been saying. And that's why you see so much of, I need to get out of the insurance business. Walmart said, we're just getting out of the healthcare business. We just
Altogether.
don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because how can you train people to be a different thing inside of your big thing that is cheap? You know, the triangle. You know, if your big thing is cheap, how am I going to teach people how to be customer service and be quality over that? And it
We
doesn't
saw
can't coexist.
and people we see these lessons over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when what was it? The coupon, Groupon.
Oh,
Remember when
Groupon. Yeah.
Groupon first came out?
Yeah.
Every dentist thought it was going to be the greatest thing since sliced milk because it's going to get patients in,
The
right?
one-timers.
One-timers.
Yeah.
You were marketing to to an audience that was looking for cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not that you can't, you can. If you craft your systems and your sales process, and I hate to use the word sales to dentists, you
It
know,
is.
but
Let's get
it's a
over it.
sales process. If you craft, if you training, if you train your entire staff, because your entire staff is your sales team. It's not just the person presenting the treatment.
Or answering the phone or just the dentist. Yeah. It's
It's everybody.
total practice. Yeah.
If
Total
you
team.
train people correctly on sales, you can actually convert a price shopper into a value shopper. And that's what you really want. You want value shoppers
Mm-hmm.
because in the absence of knowledge about value, the common
Dollars.
denominator is price.
It just comes down to money at that
Yeah.
point. What sets you apart? So we talk a lot about what sets us apart is relationship, you know, building rapport and relationship with people, but being savvy about that enough that when I'm in relationship with people, I still have the ability to move people. In Daniel Pink's book, How to Sell is Human, And you talk about moving people. Sales is just moving people. We're selling right now. We're selling ideas and concepts. Selling doesn't always equal money. And so may not be now, but in the relationship, it may be in the long run. That's okay for some people. Other people have a steeper curve where they're ready to purchase quicker. But if you're not prepared and trained, what I'm hearing you say, if you're not prepared and trained for your whole team to understand, how do I answer the phone? How do I greet this patient? How do I impact them to understand the diagnosis? All the things that we teach, I think we both are just so in sync with that. Through that whole process, you're going to struggle, especially if you're trying to be cheap and in a high inflation economy, we'll call it. Is that fair?
Yeah. Look,
Okay.
it's I don't know if I think we've spoken about this before. When I go into a new office, one of the things that a general practice, one of the things I look for is how much whitening do they do?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I look for that? Well, I look for that because it's a sign
The correlation. Yeah.
of how well trained the sales team is.
Yeah.
Because we know that people want white teeth.
Yep.
They can get white teeth at the dentist. How many offices do you go in and they
See,
hardly do any whitening?
See all the time. And you'll even, back in the day, we did chart audits. We'd actually pull the paper chart and it would say on the dental health form, interested in whiter teeth. But we're so interested in, we got to fix this other stuff first. We can't get even that to that place. And we can't even get them healthy enough to then sell them whitening.
And you mentioned the key word, which is relationship,
Mm-hmm.
which is based on trust.
Yep.
And in a relationship, you have to give the other person what the other person wants,
Mm-hmm.
right? It goes
Yep.
both ways.
Yep.
So if someone says they want whitening and you're not listening to them, how do you hope to develop a relationship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. So next week in Chicago, we do our 2-day level 2 mastery series, which is for people who've been through our level 1, just introductory. They've been doing coaching, but now they really want to integrate this. And it's an intensive, and we teach some new things in there. But the whole thing, we talk about world-class practice. And we talk about what does it take to create a world-class practice. And I don't want anybody that's listening to this coming next week to get the answers, but here we go. They'll call out all the things they think that makes a world-class practice. We'll make this big run-on sentence. You'll hear things like, beautiful columns in the hallway to the wonderful operatories with the state-of-the-art equipment and the best labs in the world that we use and all this. The patient doesn't interact with your lab. That does not build trust. What builds relationship, just like you're saying, is trust. So what creates a world-class practice is your ability to build trust with your patient. Well, how do you feel like, just like EQ, how do you build trust with people? I don't know how to do that. I can't grab that. It's not tangible. How do I do that? Well, back to EQ, it's relationship management. It's understanding, how am I being when I'm with people? Do I understand the nuances of how to communicate in a way that's effective so that you understand my clear message and I understand your motivating factors and I can connect those things. So I couldn't agree more with you. So really what we're saying is, hey, watch out, because Walmart tried to create a cheap, uh, it's all things to all people, all inclusive, come on in, make it cheap dentistry. And that's not what either the audience was looking for that and it wasn't profitable, or that's not what the audience really valued when it came to healthcare. When it came to Doritos, they liked cheap. When it came to healthcare, they didn't really like cheap by and large. What would you say?
So I would say be careful about the brand you are creating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. And some people would say, I don't even have any brand.
Oh, yes, you do. You just don't know it.
It's on accident or it's on purpose, just like culture. So
Everyone
be
has a brand.
aware. That's right.
So, you might look at your reviews, look at your Google reviews. It's going to tell you what your brand is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it creates the next conversations. Well, how do I get in control of what my brand is? How do I get in front of that? And what's a system for that?
So we can do that in September.
Yeah.
So, so I love the fact that I'm now working with the Cialdini Institute,
Hmm.
and met with Bob, great guy. Um, Learning how to use your words in both speech and in your marketing to influence people
Hmm.
ethically,
Yeah.
because you can do it
Yep.
unethically.
Both. Yep.
um, do it ethically so that you get people to start appreciating value
Hmm.
and build relationships.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. When we help offices resign from insurance and go through the insurance freedom process, one of the lines, I think I've shared this with you before, as I say, did the patient fall in love with you, or they just marry you for the money? And if they just married you for the money, when you change the financial relationship, like what you're talking about, they want a divorce. They want to go somewhere else. But if they really love who you are and your relationship building and your customer service and your systems that create that relationship, if you're conscious of it, your brand, culture, all of it, all of the intangible human skills or soft skills, because they're not walking back to their cubicle at work going, man, that Dr. Goldberg has a perfect margin on his crowns. You should go see him. That's not what they say. They go back and say, I love my dentist. He's amazing. You know what he said to me today? And those are the things that they connect with. And so where are you in search of your MAGD? That's fine. But where are you also in search for your trust building skills, your communication skills? Where are you in that process? And you can systematize that, right? You can make that a part of your
You can,
process.
but
Yeah.
like I said before, everyone needs a coach.
Oh, yeah, we've said this.
You
Yes.
it's a constant when it comes to refining that, it's a
Hmm.
constant issue
Yeah.
because none of us are born perfectly,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And some of us, especially dentists. So one of the problems in dentists, we get into really bad habits in dental school,
Mm.
really bad habits. All right. We're taught that educating patients is the way to sell them. No, it's not.
Yeah. Educate the
Showing
patient.
them a
They'll do what's
picture,
in their
right?
best interest. Yeah.
Showing them a picture of, a tooth,
Yeah.
really, it scares the hell out of them. It
Yeah.
it doesn't communicate what we think it
Hmm.
communicates.
It has to be associated with effective communication. Okay.
Absolutely.
So if you had to summarize this, someone's thinking about, hey, what did Walmart do? What should I be aware of? What should I not do? Give me one or two bullet points on, hey, you walk away from listening to this. This is what you should be cognizant of and aware of.
Okay. A, what's your brand
Hmm.
now? Define your market, both your current market and your ideal market,
Future. Yep.
and see whether or not you have a
Alignment.
alignment of the
Hmm.
two.
Yeah.
Um, and train your staff
Hmm.
because they
train
are your
them train them to be in alignment with that. In fact, the same dentist I was talking to you about, where I'm worried about what's being communicated because something's not adding up, he was reading me a text to his team member, and she's giving him sass back about doing the job the right way and not in alignment with that. It's like, how can you have someone, she can't be happy coming to work if he's wanting it this way and she's wanting to do it this way. So the patient's got to be aware of that. And she's going to dig her heels in and say it the way she wants to say it. And those things have to be in alignment. So you can offer the training, but if they're not willing to accept the training, they're not going to change and improve and implement what it is you want to do. That's a whole nother leadership then challenge. Is that
Yep,
fair?
it
All right.
is.
All right. I think we hit all the points today. I think we nailed it. And we will be back. So, leadership event for us in January will be in Florida. So, all the leaders out there who wanting to grow in their leadership capabilities, just email Eric at allstardentalacademy.com. Talk to you more about it. We do the 6 pillars of business along with leadership training and understanding your numbers and how to set goals for January and vision, all that. And you've got something coming up in September, it sounds like, too.
Um, I do. I don't even know when it is yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think check out the Liberated Practice,
Yeah.
which is again for the team
Yeah.
because our teams are so important. Um,
Yeah.
so practice perfect systems. liberated.com. Take a look at Liberated Practice.
Yeah.
And next time we'll talk about crafting the message.
Okay. I will put this in here. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Share this with someone. We appreciate you.